Tonight's
Yeah, yeah,
keys
yeah,
on the
yeah.
bass.
Back in the He's up. Stagnation.
Champions.
We welcome you back to the channel. We also welcome Dylan with the BK squad to the channel. We also welcome Miss Kim, okay, the champion, with the BK squad as well to the channel. And last but not least, you know how we do it, man. We like to save the best for last. Mr. Cordy in the He's Up. What's up, squad? How's everyone doing today?
Very good, man. Very good.
Hanging
Incredible.
in there.
Hey, listen, we are shaking things up, as the champions would say. When you are stale, that is when all your problems catch up to you. When you stand still, that's when you start sliding backwards. Things like this. Okay. These are just a few wise words. If you have not heard any of this, just write it down, but don't use it because I'm going to be coining that line down the line here. So, with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into this here. We have, as we mentioned, Cordy on the channel. We've had Cordy on the channel previously, and we spoke extensively about a lot of things in the Bitcoin environment, and of course, other projects on Bitcoin layer 2 that are quite exciting. Now, before we dive into it, okay, I think that it is really just an appropriate time to turn it over to our friends on the BK squad. You're going to be seeing the BK squad hanging out with us on the channel here a lot more of our time, right? As we continue to do these things. So we turn it over to Dylan and Kim. Tell us a little bit more about the BK squad and some of the exciting things you guys are up to. Go ahead, Dylan.
Okay. Normally Kim does that, but I'll take it from here right now. We've been around for about 5 years. We started in 2018. It was
Mhm.
about four of us came together to start the group Big Crypto because we noticed we wanted to make a space, a very comfortable space for people to come and to be able to express themselves and learn about cryptocurrency in a very
Of
safe and
course.
easy way, especially for minorities. And
Yeah,
that's how we actually got started.
Hmm.
incredible. Well, I see you guys have definitely gathered a squadron, a nation of people, and you guys keep, you know, doing the good work. So, hey, Kim,
Yeah,
I
I
know
was
you
going
want
to
to add
say.
on to that,
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, yeah. As Dylan said, we came together,
right?
and it was really designed to be a safe space for people to ask questions and
Mm.
get some support because many of us in the community don't have anyone else amongst our community who are into crypto at that time, and
Yeah,
so we just it was a word of mouth sort of situation, and we now have people on multiple continents and multiple countries who are members of BK Crypto, and we look forward to growing together with you. And
absolutely.
so, yeah, yeah.
I think that this is especially cool because when you look at the crypto land space, the land crypto landscape today, okay, there is a lot of people that are getting more and more into crypto. Whether they're just, like, hey, I want to go in and buy this Dogecoin or something that they may or may not know. The bottom line is that there is a lot of things to learn to be able to navigate this space efficiently. And there is a need for this service, right? And I think that, you guys definitely just coming right in that area where that service is needed. Because I know for sure that, even for us, we work with a lot of people that are not super, you know, tech savvy, if you will.
Hmm.
But then again, there's also no handbooks because I think for these things we all learned it ourselves, and if we're able to take that knowledge and essentially let the rest of the others jump to the front of the line, essentially, right? Instead of going through all the things that we went through,
Oh, the rug pulls.
Yeah, in order to
Really,
understand the
really,
crypto space.
instead of doing it all alone, doing all that research alone, it's a group of people who are,
Yeah,
you can call in somebody, hey, have you heard about this? Have you researched that? That sort of thing. And we can join forces together. That's what we do.
yeah.
I didn't mention it's been actually a Signal chat group for years, and we're actually about to go on a independent platform in the very near
Mm.
future. So with Sachs, and you'll be hearing about that in the future.
Yes,
So look
actually, we
forward
can
to that.
actually talk a little bit more about that right now because I think it's important for people to hear it anyway. Then we're going to jump into some of this AI stuff and the future of crypto, as the title suggests there. Um, so obviously, the Signal group, right? And when we joined the Signal group, I thought it was amazing. Well over 300 members in there, and you guys have the monthly Zoom calls where you have people just come in and we share information with those people to just help further their education. The new platform, which I know we've been working on now for a little bit, and we're trying to move over to, I know you'll be able to get free consultation, where it's 15 minutes to have someone just talk to you about the things that you're trying to accomplish there. We also have classes, trading classes,
Mhm.
right? As you guys know, Double O is the TA and trading expert. You know,
Yes.
can't touch it, man. Is the candles, the candles at the end is mine. So we're trying to also provide that service to people because no matter what it is, whether you're trading short term or if you're a long term investor, you still need to make, add as many tools to your arsenal to make great investment decisions. So that's very important. Then we have the coaching aspect of it as well, which, again, very much what you guys have been doing, being
Mhm.
able to help people jump that whole gap of learning
The
and getting
coaching,
scammed as well, right? Through that
trying to
coaching.
keep you from getting scammed, and
Yeah.
the onboarding, because people are overwhelmed by the different wallet situation, and
Hmm.
just how to acquire crypto. So we are a resource to help people with that as well, as you're
Yeah.
saying. Continue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it is our. And I'm just aligning these things because, um, to a certain extent, people may not also understand the value of it until you really just sit down and break it down.
Mhm.
But what I would like you to break down for us is the community chats,
Mhm.
which we'll be configuring there, and
Yeah.
the value that people can get from that. Because I think that is something that is powerful and
Yeah.
carries on with that community aspect.
I think that it springboards off of what we already do in
Hmm.
what we're doing in Signal. And we actually have both multiple groups within Signal. So there are going to be two community chats,
Hmm.
one being Platinum, which gives access to, of course, more information and some
Hmm.
technical analysis and that sort of thing. And then we have the Bronze chat, which is the more basic plan that still allows you access to information, because this is about sharing of information between various people, and people who anyone who buys the platinum chat will also have access to the bronze chat. So there's a
Right.
sharing of information that goes on between everyone who's involved in BK crypto. So yeah, those are the two chats that'll be available very soon.
Well,
I would
listen.
like to say though,
Yeah, go ahead.
some of the benefits that you get from being in these groups is access to people like Cody. We have several team members that are involved in some of the projects in the crypto space. And of course, you have the stack folks that are always giving you the knowledge about the latest in Bitcoin. And Cody is one of those people that is actually working on layer 2 projects
Hmm.
on the Bitcoin network. So those are the different things that you would not get from watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Mhm.
you
That's true.
should get full insight as to, hey, what
Correct.
the hell is going on with G Swift? Should I buy G Swift right now? I was like, no, we're looking at the chats right now. You want to stay out of the markets. That kind of conversation is what we have in the group. You might just get an NFT pop up in your wallet, and you're like, what is this? You come into the group, you ask the experts, and we jump right on it. It's not some Telegram channel where some fake admin comes and steal your money.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
Absolutely.
That's true.
I think this is important because there is no customer service in crypto. So I think
Very true.
we have to
It's true.
we have to help each other as a
This
community
is true.
to keep this
Each
going.
one teach one.
Yeah.
Hmm. And
Right.
really,
So
this is the elevation of that concept. Each one teach
yeah,
one. We, try to help each other, move forward in this knowledge of crypto. Yeah.
incredible. All right.
Hmm.
Well, we're gonna switch gears here a little bit here. Mr. Cordy, uh, joining us here on this magnificent Saturday. Okay.
Show your face.
What we are, so what we're going to be talking about is just um, AI and the future of crypto as well. As we all know, I mean, crypto has been around for a long time now, at least 15 years, right, and going. I know that we've been hearing people saying crypto is going to zero, none of this will succeed. But we also saw people say this about the dot com era. We saw people say this about email. You can keep going back, and you will see that the same people that say these things will not be around are the same people that, down the line own all of these things. Looks like Cordy is having some connectivity issues there. Right, we got Cordy back. So at this point in time, 15 years, crypto is still here. But even more interestingly, this AI thing comes through and is just blowing everyone away. So I think I'll pass it over to you, Cordy. Maybe we'll just start with something simple. What are some innovations that you are seeing in the crypto space and AI space right now combined that
Oh
you are
yeah.
very excited about?
Yes. First of all, do you guys hear me? Is it clear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We'll see you, and we can see your NFT,
Absolutely.
Oh
your
wait,
NFT face.
Yeah.
you guys see me right? Because I'm having issues like my video is not showing me moving around for some reason. But if you guys see me,
Oh,
Yeah,
then that's good.
well,
Yeah, we
we
see
just
you.
see
You're
a,
not.
we just see a picture. We don't see you, but
You
carry
don't
on.
see
All
me?
good.
Oh no. 1 second. I thought you guys were looking at me.
Well,
One
we're seeing a
second.
picture of you, but not definitely you.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
future, we're not gonna call them pictures anymore. In the future, it's gonna be called NFT of you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm
see
not
your
sure what.
NFT as
It's because like I'm new to this app. I'm trying to have a virtual background, but it's not letting me have the background. I don't know how you guys do that. I'll try to set it up.
oh, it's cool.
You-
We
Yeah.
got you set up next time. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Perfect. But yeah. So starting with AI, like what I'm looking into AI is with I started with 11 Labs. 11 Labs is what I've been using for You guys see me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You guys see my face now because the video is not.
No,
Not
you're
yet.
good. You're good. Just
Yeah,
speak.
Hmm?
yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong with it because the background shows, but it doesn't show my face at all. Yeah. Anyway, so right now I've been using 11 Labs for AI, and it's good for voice.
Mhm.
So I was able to clone my voice, and I'm seeing potential in that. When it comes to how it's going to empower creators, like content creators. Um, and for me, I was able to use that since I tried it with TikTok. It's like, this is cool because what it does is that you have your voice, you clone your voice, and you can write anything, right? And they even have an option to speak over it, right, where it gets your tone. And this is very interesting because now you could use your voice, but actually use your tone and record over it, and you kind of don't have to worry about the feedback and all that. Because you know how times when you're recording a video and you have to worry about the audio and it has to be perfect.
Of
So
course, of
just that
course.
one time you record that voice, you clone it, and then you could either type what you want or just speak what you want in that tone, and it's just gonna get that same exact recording the first time. So it's interesting. So now you could speak in a certain tone that reflects to the first quality camera you had, like the first mic you had when you
Mm.
recorded your voice for cloning. So it's very interesting. It makes your life easier, and I like what's happening with audio AI, but seeing further, there's a lot happening with how we could learn, right?
Is
Um,
it Audio AI? So Audio AI is this I'm not familiar with
mhm.
this project. Is this a blockchain project as well?
Oh no, it's
That is
called
starting with
11.
AI?
It's called 11 Labs.
Oh,
11
11
Labs.
Labs. Okay.
Yes, it's not. It does audio AI to the point where you could record your voice
Uh-huh.
through a mic, like a minute or 3 minutes or so, and that cloning, that recording of your voice,
Yeah.
Basically, that's all you need. And then if you want to create content, just type it out. And now that voice goes back and it's like, hey, hey, I'm Corey. And then you just type, hey, I'm Corey. And that's in your voice. And if you want to speak into it, like, hey, this is Corey D. And it's going to sound like you in that tone
Of course.
when you hear you recording. But if you were like in a train somewhere, it won't pick up that noise. It'll just get your tone from the original recording that you cloned. So it's just like, because you know how it takes forever to record things. So now it makes
Absolutely.
life a lot easier. Either you could type it or just just go back and forth without having to deal with especially issues like I had before with the echo, right? If I was like a AI talking, right, it'll be like, oh, um, the original clone didn't have any echo, but even though I'm somewhere where there's echo where I'm getting my tone when I'm recording like how I want it to sound, like it'll get the original clone voice clone
Absolutely.
recording with it. Yeah.
Okay. Is there like obviously this is like one of these cool things that AI is bringing about right now. When
Hmm.
we look at this sort of things, all right, I know that right now there is the you guys have probably seen the whole situation with Taylor Swift,
Hmm.
Yes, yes, I've seen it. We've seen it. We've
Oh
seen it.
with people
man,
using
that's
AI and things
Yes.
like that to
yes,
I haven't seen it.
yeah. Someone has
yeah.
Taylor Swift cloned in the nude and he's out there.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
bad.
missed that part.
yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
And so I mean, obviously now we have governments trying to jump in to say we need to have some serious rules around AI and replicating people and posting people in certain ways should be
Hmm.
illegal, right? Those are some conversations that they're having. But another area is AI and how AI, because we know that AI is one of those things that, when it comes to hacking, everyone is concerned about
Mhm.
how insane this is going to be.
Hmm.
Um, there is a lot of crypto out there, and we started this conversation obviously here talking about the fact that there is no customer service in crypto, which is why we do some of the things we do. Um, what is everyone's thoughts on the crypto space as it is right now with no regulations and the fact that we have this AI out there? How can we maybe use it to protect ourselves? Or is there some areas that you guys have concerns about it as well? Just open conversation. I'd like to get your thoughts.
Well, I think in the first thing for me, the AI is it's so fast moving and it's moving as to a rapid pace, right? That
Yeah.
most CEOs of companies they're not looking at 5 years from now; they're looking at 3 months from now
Okay.
because it's moving so fast. They can't project it. They can't even foresee 5 years, so they got to look at it in terms of 3 or 4 months actually.
Mm-hmm.
And with that sort of escalation, it poses a problem because someone could just use the AI to make a crypto coin using the exact metrics of another coin and make it almost perfect. And it could be a scam, it could be a bot, it could be anything. What I'm saying is that the AI gives a whole different dynamics to crypto now, whereas you won't be able to tell if something is legit or not because it seems so real.
Right.
Just as in recently, if you've seen all those commercials with the Michael Saylor and Brad Garlinghouse, they're getting more advanced with the AI where it looks more and more real.
Right.
So as
Right.
time goes by, I think, especially with the crypto space, it's going to create some problems. But I also think it's going to create some good things as well, as in terms of AI in crypto, because I think it has both connotations, right? Good and bad.
Mm.
It's just what we focus on more. But I think definitely AI is going to be have some issues with crypto, as in um, counterfeit stuff, making things look like it's real, but it's not actually real.
Is this true?
Well, I think that's true. However, people have been duplicating or replicating code for years, not just in the crypto space, but in other spaces. Because many of your, let's say, your meme coins and even regular smart contracts are duplicates of pre-existing projects. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to continue. As far as the presentation of of projects. AI definitely makes it easier, but while there's scam everywhere, it's like the biggest scams take place in USD. The biggest. Yeah, I mean that's just the
Yeah,
reality. So
yeah,
because
it's happening.
exactly because blockchain is it's code, and so it's there, and people can see what's happened.
Right.
I think that that's another reason why many of the governments are apprehensive about some aspects of blockchain because the information is out there and it's easily verifiable, and people, you know governments will won't be able to do their trickery. I mean, all governments, you know
Hmm.
as far as the way that they take money from the from basically from the little people and transfer it to themselves. More and more of that will be on the blockchain if people um, use crypto more so than these other currencies that are being touted by governments. I'll say it in that way. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep. I think I would like to jump in on that because I'm looking at it from multiple angles, from exactly the same angle you're looking at as well. So
Mhm.
when I think of I see like you're calling the bank, and literally, it's an automated AI solution that is trying to answer your customer service problems, right? Right now in the crypto space, we still don't have customer service, but AI can solve that problem for us in the crypto space because all the information and the answer is there. Well, you can also have an additional human face like us, BK Crypto and Stack, to further help you realize that okay, these are the solutions that you need to be focusing on. So that's one part, right? It's cutting that cost from a operations point of view for a company to get those services to your customer base. So AI will be doing that. But now when we connect AI and cryptocurrencies together, not only now does cryptocurrencies have a way to better provide services to their customers, but it also now further decentralize and give you ownership of your assets. Here's what I mean by that. So imagine tokenization, right? That's just what cryptocurrencies are here to do. Your store of value, maybe your business is stored digitally, and then it can be traded with tokens, right? AI can be further used, just like the blockchain already does, verify the ownership of that asset. With AI, it's even now done further because now you can tell that okay, yeah, we can tell with the blockchain that we have a duplicate, which will create a fork, or to be fair, like the Bitcoin network would just basically fuck you out of the. It's funny I said fuck you. Bitcoin network will basically
Let's
fuck
talk
you out
about
of
it.
the the blockchain. Um,
Freudian
and
slip.
with AI, we're able to even recognize that change happening. And for the customers, though, it's easier to understand what has happened because right now it's just so technical. And I think AI brings it down to a much further understandable level for most people that we're not seeing right now.
Mhm. That's true.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
That's true.
What are your thoughts on this one, Cordy? AI and the money, the crypto money.
I see a future where AI. You guys see me now? Is the
Yeah,
video
we see
Yeah,
you,
working?
we
man.
see it. We got you.
We see you, brother.
Perfect. But I don't know why
The sun
it
is
was
hitting
frozen
you
for
in the
some
right
reason.
direction too. You know what I mean?
You
Yeah,
have
Yeah.
transformed from NFT to a real human being.
Yes,
you
sir.
got you gotta love the sun. And then so going back to AI and money, it's going back to that Bitcoin will be AI's money, in my opinion, because at the end of the day,
Hold up. You
you
said
kind of need something that
Bitcoin
can
will
be
be
trusted.
AI's money. How
Yes,
do you mean?
because at the end of the day, you got to think about something that don't have any that's not controlled, right? Because if AI is being used, so if AI's money is something that's with borders, something that's controlled by a nation, that leads to a lot of corruption, and that's not going to be beneficial to anyone. So to a point where how can you trust AI? You can only trust AI if AI is being used. If AI is using money that is not corrupted by any nations. So that's the thing that's going to make AI more efficient. To a point where you're gonna have machines sending each other Bitcoin like little. I don't like robots. I don't want that to happen. I'm more virtual,
Mhm.
a virtual AI. I've seen Optimus so Elon Musk is working on this robot called Optimus, which is very scary. It's like walking around now and all this stuff. But uncorrupted money is important. Bitcoin and AI is going to be a very big deal when that's put together.
That's incredible. So essentially, let me I just want to dive a little bit more into that concept which you just brought up there. Bitcoin being AI money. It sounds like,
Yeah.
from what you're saying there, we're going to have
Hmm.
like this situation where, or there is a possibility of this situation where, because of how much AI is out there duplicating
Hmm.
various things, the only
Yeah.
way you might be able to verify that an activity or a transaction
Hmm.
is really backed by a human being
Hmm.
would be at a point in time where maybe the AI spends some of your Bitcoin to verify a transaction, kind of like
Uh,
signing,
um,
right?
yeah,
Like
and
like
also
it's sort
because
of like the
fiat
digital
currency
ID
feels
concept that we spoke about, right? Because let's
correct.
say
Correct.
let's say that there is a wallet and it belongs to the city, right? Say city
Hmm.
of whatever, and maybe a hacker creates another wallet that is supposed to be is named with the same city, right? And
Hmm.
now an email is sent out to the people. Hey, this is the city's wallet.
Pay your taxes.
We want you to pay your taxes. Is Kim okay?
You saying that your family name?
No,
Kim?
was that
Oh
taxes and
my
everything fell apart. Kim doesn't want to pay them taxes, man, to the
I'm
city.
okay. I'm okay.
We're gonna keep that in.
Oh, my
It's
charger
okay.
just fell off the table. Is what happened. I was picking up my phone. My charger.
Oh, okay, okay. I was about to say, call the ambulance. Call the ambulance. She needs some help.
Oh, God.
Okay, we're about to. Wait, I think we have something for that. Yeah, we're about to hit them with one of those. Anyway,
Sound like
right. So okay, so there's two. There's a city. There's two wallet. One belongs to a scammer. One is actually belonging to the city. You receive the message and they say, hey, we need you to send funds. Maybe it's for education and stuff like that. In this situation that you're describing here, how would AI help to differentiate or confirm that this wallet is really, this person transacting with the city versus the other wallet is, still the individual, but then maybe it's a scammer.
Yeah, and it gets deeper. But I'm gonna let you guys talk, Dylan, if you have
no.
anything to
Go
say.
ahead, Cody. I want to hear what
Yeah, no, I
Cody.
was just asking to. I was
But
just asking if you could elaborate on
Yeah,
that point that you because when you said that, I thought that was
oh,
interesting.
okay, okay.
That's something that
Yes.
yeah, it
Oh,
is.
yes.
just dive into it.
Yes. Yes.
For anyone listening, I think they'll find it
So,
helpful as well.
so it basically goes back to how you think about Bitcoin,
Yeah,
right? So, if you guys have been following what's happening in El Salvador, right? They've adopted Bitcoin as their native
of
currency.
course.
And what happened to that country? Um, it's thriving, right? It's thriving, and they're being more independent. They were able to pay off like about $800 of their debt.
Yeah.
So, and also, if you think about AI and money, so just money in general, money we have today, fiat currency fuels wars, right? So, if you think about a more dystopian future, if AI is being used in a world that loves war, that's not good, right?
Mm.
So that means that they're going to use AI for their own benefit to fuel even more wars.
Hmm.
So now it goes back where the only thing that is there to for a better future is something that's not trust that doesn't need trust or middlemen, because at the end of the day you get rid of that need. But also the thing that's even deeper is that seeing the Bitcoin ecosystem as identity, right? It's the network,
Mm.
right? It goes back to something called a network state, right? And what that means is that is the audio clear? I hope there's no
Yeah,
echo.
It's not
yeah, we could.
that loud. Could you
A
speak louder?
little louder, Cody. That's all. Like,
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Perfect, perfect. So basically, if you think about Bitcoin, it's not just currency as well, it's a network. And it goes back to the idea of a network state, because the future is going to be more digital. So the future is going to be more digital because there's more opportunities in the future for digital, because it opens up the playing field for everyone where there's no borders,
Yeah.
right? But then it becomes a difficult aspect because if there's no borders, we see things like the dark web. So that's a problem. So it has to be no borders with that's also self-regulated, right? So if you think about something that's self-regulated that has no borders, boom, that's where we have something called a Bitcoin network, and that's where identity makes the most sense, right? So now you think about scammers, and now you verify your identity, and now you think about how do you trademark your assets and your money and your livelihood on like a Bitcoin network, so people can know when it comes to AI who you truly are, and that's a very big deal. But now it's like, hey, this is me. I'm part of this country. I'm part of this network state, which is backed by the Bitcoin network. It shows that I exist in this world, and this world is a very it's especially if Bitcoin ecosystem grows into a large network, it's trusted more powerful than any nation. So that means that once you built your reputation in that world, it doesn't matter who you are and where you live, and that's what matters. And if you're a scammer, yeah, you'll get exposed, right?
Of course.
Because it'll be like, this is not your work. This is backed by this person's identity. So there's a lot of money here when it comes to just identity and blockchain and mixing that with AI. And for this makes sense because if you think about one of the most innovative founders right now is Sam Altman, right? The guy behind ChatGPT.
Hmm.
He's thinking about something similar, but it's not a perfect idea. I'm like, I like what he thinks, but it's not great. Um, so what Sam Altman is doing, he's doing something called WorldCoin, WORLD coin, and he's actually incorporated ENS, blockchain domains, to his WorldCoin application. And he's doing things like zero knowledge proofs. And if you guys don't know what zero knowledge proofs, he's added that as well to WorldCoin. But it's not perfect, right? It's still on Ethereum. And Ethereum, even though Ethereum is a popular chain, Ethereum is still not unbiased as a network,
I think
right?
the
Ethereum is.
Hong
Mhm.
Kong office just broke into their office. Was it last week? And stopped. They said they were concerned about exactly that.
Correct. It's
The,
not perfect, and it's not as private as we believe it to be.
I mean,
So,
wait, hang on. I'd like to roll back real quick here.
mhm.
What are your thoughts on WorldCoin? Just let me just begin there.
uh,
You already
um,
told us.
so,
No, your
but
thoughts,
speaking about
your own
WorldCoin, right?
thoughts. Like, just give it to me directly.
Yes,
Like personally, I
this is
think
my
that
own thoughts on
WorldCoin is
WorldCoin.
garbage. I think
Yes,
that it is predatory,
I say
and I
it's
think
very
that it is theft
dystopian.
of people's.
Identity.
Yes,
Yes.
it's very dystopian because what it is, even though they say they're using zero proofs, they say this, they say that,
Mhm.
it's not really private because first of all, you're using Ethereum's chain for your identity, but you're also doing a lot more. You guys hear me? You're also using something where it's not perfect
Mhm.
because um, data in general is not really private. That's why I talk about a lot of things called hollow chain, and I'm combining all three. Now, if you think about hollow chain with Bitcoin network,
Mhm.
and then you add identity to it, then you have an amazing solution. And hollow chain is something that I've been following since May 2018, right?
How is that different
And
from the
where
WorldCoin situation? Because I think from what you're saying there, we can confirm that you would not
mhm,
use WorldCoin.
I would not use WorldCoin
True.
because
Okay.
what they have is not perfect for private identity. It's not really
So
private.
Holochain then, how does Holochain switch it up?
So now if you think about how this we could benefit from it all, everyone thinks that blockchain can do everything. Blockchain can't do everything. It's not here for everything,
Mhm.
right? Blockchain has its own purpose. Like blockchain's purpose is identity, right? You could have your name on the blockchain, verify it's for payments and identity, for verification. And so I'm seeing things where blockchain, hey, instead of signing with Google, instead of signing with Facebook, you can own your data and prove that's your data,
Yeah.
right? But in a way, it's there, but that has to be stored on the computing layer that makes your data even private. So even though you're able to verify your data, that thing's for verifying data and making sure that data is unchanged.
Hmm.
But that data has to be private too, right? So that's another thing where we need privacy on top of all this. So that's why I'm in contact with the founders of Holochain and all this stuff, right? Because I believe if you add, and Holochain is basically, it's not blockchain, it's a different solution to the point where they have their own network and it's agent centric, and they are basically influenced by a mesh like network. So if you guys don't know what happened in around 1971 in Cuba, so Cuba was able to create their own mesh-like network that runs without the internet, right? So that means, hey, if we're doing all this stuff and the government could just shut down the internet and we're screwed, what does that mean? So that's you got to think deeper, right? Because your identity is important, but if that identity is not private and not,
It's yours.
free from government
Yep.
control, then there's no point of it, right? Because at the end of the day, if they shut down the internet, then it's like, oh, fuck your identity, right? It's
Yeah.
like how you gonna prove this if you can't have access to the internet? So now it's the point you got to think deeper. Now you have something going like Holochain. It hosts your data, and it starts off with something where it's actually secure. But even Holochain isn't perfect, right? Doesn't really have a good way to verify your data. So that's when blockchain comes in, where hey, this is my identity. I'm storing it. So Holochain is a computing layer, so you basically have that as a computing layer to host your everything, like your identity and your apps, to the point where it works like any URL or any link on Google. You'll just never know, right? Instead of AWS, you have HoloChain,
Yeah.
and it'll just be in the background.
Okay.
But but just know that it won't be affected by any lag.
Centralized
It will have
authorities.
every app. Yes, because if you think about it now, a lot of these servers are controlled by, you can't really have free speech if you don't have servers that are beyond that control. And it gets deeper than we have Bitcoin, but we have to do more than just have Bitcoin, because AI could be controlled too by the government in that way as well.
Now, let me ask you a
Mm.
question. Um, you said Bitcoin is decentralized money, right? So, um,
Yeah.
is there any concept as decentralized AI? Because if you have decentralized money, I think the ultimate would be to have decentralized AI with it. Because if you have decentralized money and centralized AI,
Hmm.
it some's gonna, it doesn't really mesh properly. So, is there such a thing as decentralized AI, or does that exist as
It's
yet?
work in progress.
Oh, it doesn't exist. Yeah, that's the big money. That's where. So I had an article like last year that I wrote about my $1 trillion idea,
Right.
and that's what I'm focused on, because it's my $1 trillion idea to basically have decentralized AI. If you think about it, right? Because if you think about how um, it could happen, because how do you change the future of work, right? AI is going to be beneficial in changing how we work, um, and we're going to need to have ownership over our AI, right? So that means attaching our livelihood to certain AI so they can work for us, right? But that's our credentials, right? So imagine having your work history or everything like that all available for everyone to see, or like your
Resume.
who you are as a person,
Yep.
your resume. So you kind of want to make sure that it's out there, but only you're able to give access to what they want to access, right? Um, so you have AI and you have a way to build your skill set and attach that to your blockchain data,
I want to pose a question
right?
here.
So.
If I'm sorry
Mhm,
to trying to interrupt that, because we're talking about decentralized
mhm,
AI, and as you were actually
mhm,
describing that,
mhm.
having a digital identity that ties in your work history, your
Yes.
address, and everything else like that, even though people cannot see it unto the point where you grant them the access, but once they have seen
Mhm,
it, they cannot unsee it,
mhm,
right?
Correct.
mhm,
So let's say if you're working for me and now you have now allowed me to see the details of your digital ID, my company will probably want to store a copy, right?
yes.
Which means now that I can start building a profile of
Mhm,
accurate information of everyone that interacts with me.
mhm.
Would you not say that this is essentially putting us back on CBDC mode? Given that when you look at what the CBDC is right now in China, would you not say that puts us back in the same place? What are your thoughts on that? Just for everyone.
My thoughts on that is, Dylan, I've been talking the whole
No,
time.
no,
I
go
don't.
ahead, go ahead.
No, you can
Go
go
ahead.
ahead first because you're the last one talking about it, so you can answer it. Then
Oh,
Dylan,
okay,
go
okay,
ahead, yeah,
okay.
and then Kim.
So
Well,
wait, how
actually,
do you think it's like a
Kim should go
CBDC?
first because Kim has not
What?
said much.
Yes, Kim, go ahead, Kim.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Actually, I do feel that exposing the digital ID there. I do feel that there's going to be some issues surrounding that. But I'm fairly certain there are limitations regarding exactly what, can be exposed. So we really have to be mindful of that. Because the reality is that most companies don't need all your information. They don't need all of it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then that also goes back, guys, to zero knowledge proofs. So zero knowledge proofs is like a technology that allows you to, you could see this, you could be able to show what you want them to see. Like, hey, I have the key and I can open this door, but only I can give access to what you want to see, like to what you want to see from what I have in my,
Right.
credentials, right? So to the point where it's basically like, um, and the best way to think about that is, yeah, zero knowledge proofs is okay. That's why I was like, okay, I understand what Sam Altman is doing with zero knowledge proofs. I understand what he's doing with blockchain domains. I understand what he's doing with Ethereum, but he hasn't done it well enough because he hasn't leveraged the Bitcoin network first. That's something that I want to see him do, and he hasn't used something where there's proper computing, where it is, because if you think about most of these do not host applications, they're even using Amazon Web Services, they're using Google Cloud, they're using centralized ways to store the information. Even though they say it's zero knowledge proofs, it's not really as private as we believe them to be, right? So it's a whole thing where, yes, what we have today, it looks like a CBD-like system because it's not done right and because it has to be hosted properly and privately. And today, none of these are hosted privately. None of them are hosted privately. And in some way, a lot of times, it's not really as decentralized as we think. And there's nothing that's really decentralized yet. And that's one thing I'm looking forward to solve because even Bitcoin is not really centralized yet. Like it's in a way on a spectrum, right? So there's things I've discussed like drive chain.
But it's the highest
That's
on that
gonna make it
spectrum.
like
That's true. That's true.
it is, and it's gonna get better and better and better because
To a point where it's
now to the
effective
point
enough.
where correct.
Yeah.
So because Bitcoin's a good start, and it leads to now you're gonna be like, okay, how do you make the miners in a way work in a decentralized matter, right? Because the mining isn't that as decentralized as we want it to be in the Bitcoin ecosystem. And it's only going to get better from here with things like Drive Chain, which is something that's very technical. I don't like talking about it. Like it's like something you have to read and watch videos about and all that to get the idea. I'm still grasping on the idea of how it really works because it's going to be launched sometime this year to a point where it's going to make it more easier. It's going to make it more efficient to mine Bitcoin, where it's not about who's the richest that will have all the Bitcoin miners and hosting all the Bitcoin miners in places where they're benefiting more than others. And
What's that
and
called again?
also
Drive
it's called
chains.
Drive Chain,
Draft.
Okay.
DRIVECHAN. And with Drive Chain, it's very connected because what it does is that it works well with Bitcoin side chains like Rootstock. And Stacks is another Bitcoin. It's not sidechain, but it's working to be a Bitcoin sidechain. And but my favorite is Rootstock, and I've been I've been bullish on Rootstock for since 2019. Like, I've been talking about the Bitcoin layer since 2019, and it's finally recognized now as a category, which is crazy. I'm like, wow, like you guys are finally recognizing what Bitcoin layers are in 2024. But these are important because you can't build on quicksand. A lot of the crypto ecosystem they're building on quicksand, and we've seen what happened with the FTX, what happened with Solana because they're building on quicksand. There's not a sturdy base layer to start things up. It's basically like having a tree, but you start from the top, and then what looks pretty, right? It's like, bro, like where's the seeds? You can't really have a tree with no seeds.
I got to get you
Like,
here. Not you talking about Solana, which is like the hype train, the biggest thing right now. It's taking all this time.
I love Solana.
Okay.
It has its own use case. Solana has its own use case. I actually use Solana for my phone. Like right now, I'm using Solana for my data, and it's I guess obviously my Wi-Fi, but I'm not I'm not trusting that with Stream, but it works very well. Unlimited data, tech, and talk and text, and then I pay $5 a month,
Okay. So
and I'm getting paid.
to be clear, this is not this actual Solana phone. This is the Helium, or is this the Solana phone?
There's the Helium.
It's a.
It's on Solana though, as a
No,
phone.
I
So Helium
understand it's
Mobile
on the
is on
Solana
Solana.
blockchain. Yes. Go ahead. So just let's
Yes,
be
yes.
clear that this is Helium Mobile on this, which
Correct.
And
runs on the
Solana.
Solana blockchain. Yeah, yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Yes.
The service is really good.
So
Before we jump into the
yeah.
technology, though, I want to jump into some part that you were talking about earlier, Cody. Before we jump into the details of the technology, when you were talking
Mhm.
about the pulse chain, the drive chains, etc., and how that impacts our daily lives, I just want to talk about because I was giving that example of the customer service earlier, and I've been following a
Mhm.
couple of podcasts that talks about AI. And what I'm saying though
Mhm.
is a future where you and I probably never dies, and where the AI represents you and transacts with the rest of the world without borders.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So that's where it's gonna head when it comes to like that's why identity is the most important thing ever
Exactly right.
because identity is the most because like that means you can literally pass instead of passing like a house that won't mean anything in the
guys,
next
I'll say
1,000 years.
I have
How?
I got a friend of mine, right, that a very wealthy guy, I know, brother, right, and right now, what he's very big in the AI space, and what the wealthy people are doing right now, they're making AI bots for them, the wealthy people
For themselves
so that their children and
Yeah.
grandkids can interact with them for
when they're
generations,
gone.
and it's happening
And
right now.
their store of
It's
money.
happening.
So you were saying
Yeah.
earlier, I want to like finish this up real quick for you guys to connect the dot. Right. So not only does the AI recognize your voice, right, and can replay your voice as if it was you, the AI goes out
Yeah.
there and like I was looking at it earlier from the point of view of a company, but forget the company, forget now think about you. The AI represents you,
Mm.
transact with other human beings or other AI, like literally business transactions, right?
Mhm.
It can store your value, like literally, it can do business for you. Imagine that. And it has your identity in it, which is the pulse chain situation there, and it can cross chain. So it's not just Bitcoin. So now the money that that AI will be using, we are saying that it's much safer in the hands of Bitcoin than in the hands of
Correct.
other crypto that we know of right now.
Mhm.
Correct. Yes.
Now, funny if the AI does could do the work for you, where does this leave us as in working, right? Like if the AI is doing the work for you, I mean, just the thought of it, like, are we gonna be working, like
I think
in
the
the
idea is that you just spend the
Oh,
rest of your
yes.
days
We're gonna
enjoying your
laugh.
life, I guess.
We're gonna laugh how much we work.
yes,
It's like,
I think
bro, why would we work a
Yeah.
60-hour week?
yes, I think
Like, cause like it's crazy. We're human beings. We're supposed to enjoy life. Have to go out there in the sun, enjoy life. But so now the future is how can we build skills around our AI and have it working for us, where we can have more time for our families, right? Because it's a sad world these days where people are working, spending more time with their colleagues than they are
Yeah.
spending
Two
time with
jobs,
their
three
family.
jobs. But guys, gotta be careful. There's this
Yeah.
cartoon that I watch with my kids that I think is super funny but interesting because it all connects. And guess what? They had Ethereum. They had the logo of Ethereum as the money that they used. So human beings got so intelligent that AI started doing everything. Something happened on
Hmm.
planet Earth that we had to now go to space. But while in space,
Yeah.
humans got so fat because they didn't have to do anything anymore.
Mm.
AI was doing everything
Mhm.
for them
wow.
Yes.
until a old
Oh
school
man.
AI, like really classic AI, came and kind of like turned things around and
Mm.
broke the chain of the continuous process. If you saw human beings in that cartoon, they were so fat and chunky. They could not even get up and walk. They were sitting on some floating device that would feed them, that would do everything for them.
Yeah.
And and then by the time they went back to planet Earth, whatever devastation, hopefully World War III doesn't mess us up, right? And then when I come back to planet Earth, now you have to plant that little seed and then regrow plant and learn everything all over again. Do we want to go to that future of AI?
Yeah, I think AI is great, but I think that we have to put some limitations because I think that there are some serious problems with the idea of not working again.
Yes.
There is serious problems on that, which we can dive into it
Oh
into
yes.
another episode, right? Because we're really approaching
About
one
that,
hour.
guys.
But go ahead.
Yeah. About that. So there'll be work, but it's gonna be work through games. The future of work is with gaming. So as humans, we're
What
going
is the
in a
obsession
way
with
have.
gaming? What is the obsession with gaming? Like, if I'm,
I know
let
The
me,
gaming
it's a very big
obsession,
deal.
y-
yeah, and the most adoption from the real
Yes.
world will happen initially through gaming.
Hey,
Correct.
it happened. It,
So
it happened in
No,
the .com ages, guys. Remember, it was Triple X and gaming that brought the
Yep.
internet to the world.
Yep.
Triple X and gaming
it's
brought the
always
internet to
gaming.
the world.
Yes, it did.
Mm.
All that,
Gaming's
all that, all
always
that library information website that people were using for the internet. That was not what did the internet
Nah, it was the
popular.
gaming. Yes.
I think that that is actually probably possibly one of the things that is slowing useful or meaningful use cases for crypto. Because if we are waiting for gaming, then this means that we're waiting on a generation of people who are not ready to create things that are going to be changing the world
Hmm.
in that way. Okay.
Mhm.
So then now that now starts opening the box of, well, is this what is the priority of problems to be solved right now? Is it, are we just in a space where we have a ton of solutions looking for problems, or are these things, or are we missing the opportunity to really enhance the way that we operate right now
Mm.
because we are waiting on gaming? Because if I, like you, like Double already mentioned, right, here's what movie was the movie that you said was a
Yeah.
movie that brought
Okay.
the internet about.
TV show.
Okay, so let's say if we look at that situation, it seems to me that until there was a bunch of gamers sitting there spending time engaging with these things, up until the point where they had a crossover in their mind to implement this in real life, it would have not happened.
Actually, I think that should be a good way we close this recording. We should get everybody to respond to that. I think we're quite interested.
Yes, everyone responds to that. Then we'll close this one out
Kimberly
so that would
first.
not make it too long.
Well, I think that it's more to do with the bringing people into. Okay, gaming's going to bring a lot of people in, but the whole financial aspect is being crafted as we speak because the
Right.
existing financial institutions are trying to insert themselves as middlemen again, where they're really not
Mm-hmm.
needed,
Yep.
but they're trying to establish that position as we move forward into the new financial era. So while gaming will bring masses, but you got to think about it. Even back years ago, the people were exchanging value in Bitcoin within the gaming ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
what they were doing. So
Mm,
they'll be it'll be a multi-chain world, and
Hmm.
some currency, cryptocurrency, will most likely be used in the gaming ecosystem. I think.
And like if you think about
fair enough.
gaming, right? Generally, like you gotta think much more because to a point, gaming is gonna be so immersive because you gotta think about AR, right? Augmented reality, and it adds a certain element to our lives
Mhm.
where gaming is gonna be part of our reality in a way where like when things are gamified. If you get up in the morning, you're gonna have some kind of like game that talks to you in a way and interacts with your day,
Did you see that
and you know helps.
Isn't
Apple
that?
released yesterday with the augmented reality
Oh, the
stuff on
Yep.
your face
glasses.
now,
Yes.
glasses?
Yeah.
Three
Yes.
thousand eight
Oh
hundred
yeah, it came
dollars.
out like came out.
Yeah.
It came out
Came on
yesterday, right?
yesterday.
I saw it in the
Yeah.
Apple Store. I was like, oh wow,
Yeah, you
It's
saw it.
happening.
yeah.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's
It's
happening.
happening. It's happening. It's happening.
So I love AR. I don't like VR like that because VR is like I'm like okay. I had Meta Quest. I didn't care for it. I didn't really use it like that because I don't. I kind of don't want to be stuck inside of a digital world all day, right? But I do like an immersive experience, and that's still in a way a game because games are gonna be so detailed that we will not be able to tell them apart. That's where identity makes sense as well because some of these games are going to be so realistic, especially with how we're seeing Unreal Engine 5, how it's evolving, and how the graphics are looking so realistic that yeah, that it's gaming is not. It starts out as a fun thing, but it's going to be more evolved than how we see it because the best example of a community, if you think about it, like an online community, is gaming guilds, right? They, uh, they, gaming guilds is probably like the best example of a DAO, if you think about it. And then now it's like, how do you use this uh, guilds to empower a community? So it starts out as games, but it's going to evolve to a lot more than just a simple game. Because now these people become empowered through these guilds that become DAOs, and these DAOs become network states, and these network states become respected uh, figures in the world that could make decisions in the physical.
All right. Well, listen, man. Gaming to take us into the future.
I
Dylan,
got, I got, I got
what are your
answers,
thoughts
man.
on that one?
So
And we'll go ahead
I
and.
I think that the fact that there are that many gamers in the world, about a trillion gamers, it speaks volumes about even just human beings in general, right?
Mhm.
And how impactful that gaming is to people, right? If that many people
yeah.
are playing games, right? Now, I think the gaming industry was because they adopt things very early. They adopt crypto very early. They were like the
Mhm.
like test beta, right? So a lot of people looked at the gaming industry and probably look at things and how they were using crypto and applied it to other things. So they were the actual testers for the crypto space. First of all, the
Mhm.
gamers, right? And I
Yeah.
think as time goes by, just our concept of work, what we think is work, right, is going to be transformed because it's going to be less physical work, I think,
Yeah.
and more
Hmm.
mental and virtual reality sort of stuff. So we're entering into a different paradigm, and I think a lot of the old stuff is going to transform how we even think of just work itself.
Man, this is getting crazy.
All right.
I got some crazy and crazy responses, yo. So check this out. When I was a kid and I first started learning how to type. Guess how I learned how to type? Gaming.
Huh.
Literally trying to kill
Yes.
flies on the
Yep.
screen or driving or going really fast.
Yeah,
Racing after
right,
someone.
right,
I'm not sure if you guys remember that on Windows
right, right.
95,
I
Windows
remember. Yeah,
98.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
remember.
You learned how to type using gaming.
Mhm.
If you don't remember, the school that Elon Musk is putting together,
Hmm.
most
Mhm.
of those kids learn through gaming. He also is a major gamer,
Correct.
by the way. And if you don't, for those of us here that play video games, gaming actually helps with your memory excessively. For you to remember the maps,
Mhm.
etc., we use gaming. In the US military, we use war games to teach the military
Mhm.
how to fight wars on lands that they've never been in,
Mhm.
right? So the way we learn, actually, if you look at animals when they play with each other, when babies
Yeah.
play around with each other when they're kids, it's games before the actual real thing,
Correct.
right? So maybe the actual reality that we're coming to realize is that the human nature, the human brain is configured for gaming, and that is how we actually
Mhm.
figure out life realities. But what we have to get careful about is that China is already doing it now, where you actually train with a real gun and you're using it to practice targeting. I'm not sure if you guys have seen those videos on X recently. They actually
Mhm.
use gaming to teach kids how to code. My kids are using that in school right now to learn how to write code. It's gaming.
Love it.
Um, the direction of where all of that goes to is what we have to be careful about. I think that is my response to all of this gaming situation. Is that there are good people in this world, which is why we need decentralization to ensure that those centralized
Mhm.
power that try to control everything don't have us gaming into destruction. I think that is what we got to be careful about.
Well said. Gaming
That's
into
that's
destruction.
my
I like that.
response.
Well said.
Mm,
Mhm.
building responsibly. Well, sounds like a solid conclusion. I know it's not a conclusion of any sort. It's just a cliffhanger, if you want to call it that, by the way. All right.
Cliffhanger.
But we're going to be wrapping up this one here, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible, incredible time. Absolutely glad to have the whole squad here for the first time. Let me pull up everyone here real quick so we can go ahead and give some shout outs before we close this one out. Of course, Mr. Cordy in the Hiza. I was just trying to pull up your Twitter here so that the people can find you on Twitter. What is your Twitter handle? Actually, I got you, sir. I
All right.
got you. Twitter handle pulled up here. That's going to be Cordy. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the BK squad as well, so we can pull this up on the screen. Okay, so that everyone can have a simplified visual to know where to find all of us in case you want some heat
Give it to them in an
and things
NFT.
like that. Yeah.
Say no go to FOMO.
Yeah, listen, man. I ain't
Say
got
no, go to
Go
yes.
to
Say
FOMO.
no
FOMO.
go to FOMO, my people. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh
There it is.
man,
We got to
those
make
meme
that one a
coins,
meme.
man.
That's for sure, right? So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you have not yet, okay, follow us on X. We are Stackfin over there on X, and of course, you can also hang out with the BK squad. Okay, you can buy some merch. You can also go to our coaching website there, to listen. The website, you might go to the website and you might run into complications. It is okay. It's technical difficulties. We are working on it. Have no fear. It is part of the experience. It only gets better from here. So please check out the BK Coach website as well. We'll do our best to help you as well. And of course, last but not least, okay, Mr. Cordy himself. Join him over there. He's playing chess, not checkers. CEO of Study Big Co. Okay.
Oh, man.
How about that one? Incredible. Well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out with us. How do we bring this thing back to normal screen? Okay. Let's see. Wait, hang on. We lost Kim here for a quick second, ladies and gentlemen. Just give me one moment. Man, technical difficulties.
Yes,
This is what happens when you try new things, right? But that's all good. All good. All good. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, please be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Of course, like, share, subscribe subscribe to the channel and share this content with your friends if you found it interesting, educational, informative, any of those things. Okay. Anything else to add, Double O, before we close this one out here?
Man, we never start the show or end the show without saying champions.
Right.
The future is here, guys.
Hey, listen, man. It is up to
AI, AR, blockchains,
Boom.
Bitcoin for sure. To be a
Exactly.
champion, you better stay on top of this, babies.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes.
For you to get
And
that, tag on the show.
Yes, sir. Until next time, brazen out.
Double O.
Hey. And